Are you easily distracted when you're trying to do things? If so, you're going to be happy you tuned in today because I'm going to have some hacks for you. My name's Cora Naylor. I'm an energy healer and I facilitate manifestation circles. And I'm excited to bring you my friend Barb Hubbard today. Barb is the author of the book. Um,
Yeah,
what is it, Barb?
it is. Quit chasing squirrels. Quit chasing squirrels and start chasing your dreams. Yeah.
Yes. So, and Barb's got 50 hacks in there to help you get restarted because especially as entrepreneurs or anybody out there, and we just get so easily distracted. We've got communications coming at us from all over the place. And sometimes it's nice to have some little tips or hacks to get us restarted again. And Barb's book is amazing. It's just, pretty much covers all the bases. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if this is for me, she's going to have something for you. So I'm going to hand it over to Barb and she can tell us a little bit about herself and her book.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah. So I'm Barb Hubbard. I call myself a time management coach and ADHD specialist. And I work with anybody and everybody who is distracted and unfocused. A lot of times, the people who come my way have ADHD. I specialize in working with women who have ADHD. But the truth of it is, as you said, especially as entrepreneurs, we have a lot coming at us. Everybody does, right? Even if you're working that 9 to 5 job, we have a fast-paced society and a lot coming at us every day. And one of the things that I had found over, the last few years of working with people is that people aren't finding time for what's most important to them. They're having trouble getting started on things that they really want to do because they're like, oh, but I got to go over here and do this for this person, or my kids are needing me right now. And, we just are distracted and we're chasing squirrels all the time. So I put together this book of 50 different hacks to get you started.
Yeah. So how did you even get started in doing like this time management? Like where did that come from?
Yeah, it as it is with most entrepreneurs, it was a bit of a journey and a little windy. But my background is in special ed. I was an elementary special education teacher for about 20 years. And when I decided to leave that, I was looking for something that where I could use some of those same skills, right? And I had worked with parents for all those years as well, as you do as an elementary teacher. So I found ADHD coaching, and I started out as a parent coach. And I worked with parents of kids who had ADHD or other special needs. And that lasted about 1 year. And then I joined a couple networking groups, and I realized all these other women are struggling with the kind of the same thing, right? People were coming my way and saying, well, I don't have ADHD. My kids don't have ADHD, but can you help me?
Mm.
And I realized at a certain point, like, okay, all the people in front of me are women who are struggling to, be focused and with attention. And so I shifted and started working with them. Yeah, that's, and I've been coaching over 6 years, and 5 of those years have been with the audience of women and mostly entrepreneurs.
Yeah. I think partly everyone in a way feels like we have ADHD right now, like just not being able to concentrate and focus. They say we're like goldfishes, like we're at 2 seconds and we're already looking for something else because there's so many
Yeah,
things that come our way. So we're attached with our phones. And, we never had that when we
yeah,
were kids. We were,
yeah.
of the generation before the
Mhm.
internet was even here or phones.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I want to caution people to just be aware that the diagnosis of ADHD or any neurodivergent condition is the women who have ADHD are struggling more with focus than the average person, right? It is an actual, real chemical issue in your brain. ADHD brains look different when scientists look at them. And I totally agree with you, Cora. Like, we are all distracted. We are all unfocused at times. We all experience some level of not feeling motivated at times. And, whether that's because of society or because of, the foods we're eating, or because there's so many different reasons. But yeah, we all need a little assistance, sometimes a little nudge to get back on track.
Yeah, I think it's just even being aware so that we can make those
Yeah,
changes. So what
yeah,
inspired
yeah,
you to write this book?
yeah,
Give us some tips.
yeah. I had a client at one point early on who said to me, if I could just get started,
Mm,
I would know what I want to do. And she was creating a business around health coaching, and she knew what she knew exactly what she wanted, but she just couldn't bring herself to take the first steps.
mhm.
And she had all kinds of distractions in her life and things going on in her life. And so I started then with just ideas for her. And then I started compiling a list. And it was a good year or two later. I'm like, I have quite a list going here of if I could just get started, right? They were all ideas around, you just need a little more energy. Here's some ideas. You need to shift your mindset around this. Here's a few ideas. Or you need some accountability. Here's a few ideas. And then one day I was sitting in the car waiting for my child to come out of sports practice or something,
Yeah.
and just sitting there looking at my list, and I thought, bet I can grow this list to 50. And
Mm.
then I'm like, well, if I have a list of 50, I might as well write a book around it.
Yes.
So that's kind of when the idea was born. It took me a good 2 years plus after that to actually publish the book. And
Nice.
I used probably a third of my own hacks in, getting
Yeah.
myself there, right? But it was born out of the things that my clients were telling me, and the ideas I was sharing with them. And I thought, I can share these with everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Would you like to share maybe a couple? What do you think are the most popular
sure,
ones?
yeah,
The most popular?
yeah. I think so. I have it split into 4 categories. There's accountability, energy, clarity, and mindset. I think the most popular category is accountability.
Mm,
I think that most of us do really well when someone else is involved, right? Like we'll go to the gym if we're going to a class or if we're meeting a friend there, but we're not likely to go to the gym simply by ourselves and because we feel like it, right? Like we
yeah.
don't feel like we want to go to the gym. So, so creating that accountability, finding a partner, or sometimes it's hiring a coach, or sharing the date. Like I'm going to have a dinner party on
Mm,
September 5th, and then you have the kind of people who are going to show up at your house. You're accountable to make sure you're ready for that, right? Those kinds of things tend to be the favorites of the hacks I've written. Um, but interestingly, I've recently been focused more on the mindset side
mm,
of things because I have found since writing the book, and it's been out for a year, um, that there's a lot of different things we can do to get that nudge to get started, but to keep going,
mm.
to
That's the
finish,
next book.
right? That yeah. So the next book, I've had a
Yeah.
little inkling, like maybe it's time. Um, we also want to finish, right? We can get started and restart it over and over, but to finish, what I have found is we have to believe that we can. We have to shift the things we're thinking in our head and the stories we're telling ourselves, and we have to focus a lot more on the emotions behind why we're avoiding something or why we're procrastinating. So while the quick things seem to be the most popular and the ones people tell me about, the mindset is where I've been putting more of a focus on what I've been sharing lately.
Yeah, I love that. Love the emotion part because that's what kind of where I come in with the work
Yes,
that I do because we often
absolutely.
don't know that we have
Yeah,
those blocks.
yeah, yeah.
So we're not sure why we're not. I mean, I know I need something about finishing things too. How many courses I have ever started or books
Right.
started and never finished. I
Yeah.
guess I didn't have a good enough reason to do it, but
Mhm.
that's a really
Yeah,
interesting spin on things. And I'm super
yeah.
excited that you're here today. And I know a lot of people are going to want to know more. So once we're done, you'll be putting your link for people to buy your book if they want to take a look at your book. And I think you also have a group that people can join. Is that right?
I do. I do. It is currently called the How to Eat an Elephant community.
Mm,
However, I am in the process of changing it to the Quit Chasing Squirrels community so that everything is
yeah.
more in alignment. Depending on when you listen to this and look, it might be changed or it might not. So, but it's a community that is based around community, like women supporting women, accountability, um, because that is the number one way I see people getting started, and strategies, lots and lots of strategies around both getting started and finishing your projects.
Sweet. That's
So,
awesome. So
yeah,
yeah, maybe we can put the link
yeah,
for that too if people want to join
absolutely.
your group for some information about it. That would be fantastic.
Yeah,
And before we let you go, I would love to get some comments from you. As a lot of people know out there, facilitating magical manifestation circles, and Barb was part of one of my circles this year. And I'd love to just hear how your experience was with that. And I know you're into manifesting and you're
I
really good at
am.
it. So it's different
Thank
doing it
you.
in a group setting.
Yeah, so first I'll just say thank you so much for offering these. These circles are unique and they are powerful and they're just really special. You bring a community of people together who may or may not know each other. I knew one other person in the group that I was in, and we get to know each other in an instant by sharing the things that we have going on in our lives, right? And what we're hoping to manifest. Um, what I found most powerful about the circle that I was in was the the energy. And
Mhm.
it's like having trouble finding words for
Yeah.
it, right? You have somebody share, this is what I would like to manifest. And then we are basically meditating on that and thinking about that and sending this person love and positive energy for, I think it was 5 minutes, 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I get chills now thinking about it because every single time for every single person, um, I my skin would literally vibrate.
Mhm. Yes.
And it's over Zoom. You don't
I know.
usually get that experience over an online event, but the energy was so powerful. And we also had the chat and messenger to reach out and connect with people and check in on people. And so you really do feel like these people are all rooting for you. These
Yeah.
people are on your side. These people want what's best for you, right? And it really is magical. It really
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
thank you for being part of that, and I know
yeah,
it's super exciting because sometimes, especially in our world, it feels overwhelming. There's so much craziness going on in there, and you think, "Oh, one person can't really do that much." But with these small groups, we can do amazing
yeah,
things, and if we just keep creating more and more groups and expanding it
yeah.
out, anything's possible.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. And the other thing that I'll add is that I wasn't sure that wanted to take that time for myself. And let me explain that. I knew that I should take that time
Yeah.
for myself, but I didn't know that I really had the time to take that time for myself. And I decided that part of it was I need to do this for myself so that I can give back to
Mhm.
all the people in my communities, right? And it was every week just a chance for me to focus on me. And ever since, I have been finding things so that I have that time each week, whether it's in a group or on my own, right? I realized how important that is to take time for myself.
Yeah.
And so I want to throw that out there for anybody who's like, oh, but I don't have the time.
Yeah.
You can't afford not to do this.
It's another form of self-care. It's
It
another one of
is.
those things. And if we don't plan it, we
Yeah,
don't do it, right?
exactly.
Because we always plan all the things
Yeah,
for all the other people, and the things we want for us
yeah,
is always at the bottom of the list.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
just never get time for that because we don't
exactly.
put it on the list.
Exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
and I just put it together. It's accountability, right? It's you're
Yeah.
offering this accountability for people
Yeah.
to make sure once a week it's all about you
Yeah.
and what you're thinking and what you're doing, and it ends up being about this little community that you're creating, but
Yeah.
it's accountability for you to take care of yourself. So
Perfect. Yeah. And in the circle, we actually spend more time looking after the other people, but everyone's looking after you. So it's that
yeah,
give and take of the energy.
it
It's
is.
really amazing.
Yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Barb. And thank you for hopping on today.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know everyone's going to want to know more about your book and your group. So I look forward to getting that in the comments so they can check out that book because there's some really good hacks in there if you're looking for something to get restarted. I'll also post a link about my manifestation circles. And if you have any questions about either one of the things, please comment below, reach out to Barb or myself, and we'll make sure we'll get your questions answered. So thanks again, Barb. Thanks for coming
Thank
on.
you. Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks, Elaine. See you later, everybody. Bye.